covering Cobit 5 and looking at what would be justifying the use of a risk management framework that is a de facto standard in many industries. That is the Cobit 5 framework. So in another presentation, we've mentioned that it's created by an organization called ISACA, and it's putting forward a certain view of how information security should be put in place based on the fact that IT requires executive oversight. So there's a lot of really good reasons out there, and we have many examples that have shown where many difficulties and significant costs have been occurred when the oversight of information technology doesn't lie with the executives, or when the executives don't really get involved in the day-to-day oversight of technology. And this brings significant risks, and these risks can be expressed in additional costs and problems with maintaining the operations, as in the examples that you have here of an apparel manufacturing companies who's had problems installing supply chain management software, which incurred costs of over $200 million. A publicly traded company that admitted that a virtual collapse of its financial reporting system reduced its market value by 1/3 in a single day. Or an operational meltdown after the merger of two transportation companies, which was traced to the inability to coordinate their IT systems. So really, after decades of struggle to be recognized as a strategic contributor, the IT function is finally seen as by C-level executives as an important part of the enterprise's overall success. Even so, major concerns linger among these C-level executives around performance of the IT function and the staff that supports it. So this is with good reason, since a number of enterprises have experienced a significant financial loss associated with IT issues. But there is reason for hope, as evidenced by the gains associated with effective IT, as shown in this slide. Good oversight over the information in the IT function is essential to its success. Successful enterprises recognize the benefits of IT and its use to drive stakeholder value. So here we're seeing the example of a major airline supply chain transformation that improved the forecast of demand, reduced procurement costs, and increased service levels while costs fell. Another example of a technology products and services company that saved $12 billion over 2 years by linking up disparate pieces of its supply chain, thereby reducing inventory levels. So IT governance goes a long way towards bridging the gap between corporate expectations and the perceptions of the IT function. The need for top management direction and oversight regarding the value of IT and the management of IT-related risks are now understood as key elements of governance. Value, risk, and control constitute the core of IT governance. IT governance consists of the leadership, organizational structures, and processes that ensure that the enterprise IT sustains and extends the enterprise's strategy and objectives. Governance is not the sole responsibility of the Chief Information Officer. It is the responsibility of an enterprise's top executive and board of directors. Successful enterprises understand the risks and exploit the benefits of IT and find ways to deal with it. Aligning IT strategy with the business strategy, ensuring investors and stakeholders that a standard of due care around mitigating IT risks is being met by the enterprise, providing organizational structures that facilitate the implementation of strategy and goals, and measuring IT's performance. These are the benefits of sound IT governance. The Cobic Mission is to research, continually update, publicize, and promote an authoritative, internationally accepted IT governance control framework for adoption by enterprises and day-to-day use by business managers, IT professionals, and assurance professionals. Now in its 2019 release, the framework has been used successfully by IT organizations and business executives in many industries of many sizes. Cobit provides a common language to communicate goals, objectives, and expected results. A common language benefits all levels of IT, including management and stakeholders. Cobit has been developed and is maintained by ISACA, as well as industry experts and control and security professionals. Its contents is based on ongoing research into IT good practices and is continuously maintained, providing an objective and practical resource for all types of users. Cobit is oriented towards the objectives and scope of IT governance, ensuring that its control framework is comprehensive, in alignment with enterprise governance principles, and therefore acceptable to boards, executive management, auditors, and regulators. Cobit delivers significant benefits in areas that are fundamental to every enterprise: value, risk, and control. Implementing Cobit also provides clearer security and privacy requirements and more easily monitored implementation, more efficient and successful audits, and IT compliance with regulatory requirements, which will become a normal management practice. Cobit is based on the analysis and harmonization of existing IT standards and good practices and conforms to generally accepted governance principles. It is positioned at a high level, driven by business requirements, covers the full range of IT activities, and concentrates on what should be achieved rather than how to achieve it. Therefore, it appeals to executive management, business, and IT management, governance and assurance and security professionals, and IT audit and control professionals. Strategic alignment focuses on ensuring the linkage of business and IT plans, defining and maintaining and validating the IT value proposition, and aligning IT operations with enterprise operations. Value delivery is about executing the value proposition throughout the delivery cycle, ensuring that IT delivers the promised benefits against the strategy, concentrating on optimizing costs and providing the intrinsic value of IT. Risk management requires risk awareness by senior corporate officers, as clear understanding of the enterprise appetite for risk, understanding of compliance requirements, transparency about the significant risk to the enterprise, and embedding of risk management responsibilities into the enterprise. Resource management is about the optimal investment in and the proper management of critical IT resources, such as applications, information, infrastructure, and people. Key issues relate to the optimization of knowledge and infrastructure. Performance measurement tracks and monitors strategy implementation, project completion, resource usage, process performance, and service delivery using, for example, balanced scorecards that translate strategy into actions to achieve goals measurable beyond conventional accounting. When we think about Cobit and IT governance at the most fundamental level, there are 4 questions that every leader asks him or herself when it comes to IT initiatives. Is my organization doing the right things? Are we doing them the right way? Are we getting them done well? And are we getting their benefits? Using the maturity models developed for each of Cobit's 34 IT processes, management can identify the actual performance of the enterprise, where the enterprise is today, the current status of the industry, so how we compare, the enterprise targets for improvement, where the enterprise wants to be, and the requirement growth path between the as-is and the to-be. So let's take a closer look at the Cobit Framework. Cobit defines IT activities in a generic process model with 4 domains along with a set of information criteria. The 4 domains are plan and organize, acquire and implement, deliver and support, and monitor and evaluate. The domains map to IT's traditional responsibility areas of plan, build, run, and monitor. The Cobit Framework provides a reference process model and a common language for everyone in the enterprise to view and manage IT good governance. It also provides a framework for measuring and monitoring IT performance, communicating with service providers, and integrating best management practices. A process model encourages process ownership, enabling responsibilities and accountabilities to be defined. Plan and Optimize, or PO, provides direction to solution delivery and service delivery. Acquire and Implement provides the solution and passes them to be turned into services. Deliver and Support receives the solution and makes them usable for end users. Monitor and Evaluate monitors all processes to ensure that the direction provided is followed. This chart illustrates the relationship between business, IT, processes, and activity goals and the different metrics. From top left to top right, the goals cascade is illustrated. Below, the goal is the outcome measure for the goal. Below the goal is the outcome measure for the goal. Yeah, that sounds better. The small arrow indicates that the same metric is a performance indicator for the higher level goals. The example provided is from DS5, Ensure System Security. Cobit having a hard time here. Cobit, not COVID. Cobit provides metrics only up to the IT goals outcome as delineated by the dotted line. While they are also performance indicators for the goals for IT, Cobit does not provide business goals and outcome measures. The metrics have been developed with the following characteristics in mind: a high insight to effort ratio, comparable internally, comparable externally, irrespective of the enterprise size or industry. Better to have a few good metrics than a longer list of low-quality metrics. Easy to measure, not to be confused with targets. Cobit also provides information on what processes should be delegated and to whom they should be delegated. This helps to ensure that IT processes are being managed at the appropriate level within the enterprise. The hierarchy chart is defined for each process and indicates who is responsible, accountable, consulted, or should be informed about specific tasks within a given process. The roles of the hierarchy chart are characterized for all processes as Chief Executive Officer, Chief Financial Officer, Business Executive, Chief Information Officer, Business Process Owner, Head Operations, Chief Architect, Head Development, Head IT Administration. The Project Management Officer or function, compliance, audit, risk, and security responsibilities. Cobit products have been organized into 3 levels designed to support executive management and boards, business and IT management, governance, assurance, control, and security professionals. This Cobit-based product diagram presents the generally applicable products and their primary audience. They are also derived products for specific purposes. For domains such as security, or for specific enterprises. Do keep in mind that This diagram is based on the second edition and Cobit 5, and not necessarily with the Cobit 2019 that is the current release, that has some updates to it that we will be discussing in another presentation. Cobit is designed to be complementary to and used together with other standards and good practices. Detailed practices and standards such as ISO 27000 and 27001 and 27002, and the PMBOK, the Project Management Body of Knowledge, which covers specific areas that can be mapped to the Cobit Framework, providing a hierarchy of guidance. Standards should be implemented to benefit the specific needs of businesses, and Cobit can help ensure that the various standards are aligned.